science, no glasses today. Hello and welcome to Marketing as a Foreign Language. This is the final edition, part 4, if you can even believe it, of the Entrepreneur Fails. I want to give a big shout out, of course, to Esther Sass, unsurprising to anyone, because yesterday in our BNI chapter meeting, she gave a wonderful compliment, and really appreciate it. So we are on to something that finally worked. 2 things, the 2 things, making notes here. 2 things that actually worked. Okay. So, Advise Media Group. We were talking about that in the previous episode. I am now in Las Vegas. I worked at USAIDA schools. I was teaching at night, $15 an hour. That was good. Went through the whole Advise thing. So now Advise is basically going away. I'm calling up my clients. They're hopping on board. And I am basically now the owner. I'm not basically now. I am now the owner of a company called Send It Rising Internet Marketing. And I have 1 employee, and she was incredible, an incredible employee. And we start with 10 clients. Now, what I want to say is if you are into the law of attraction, I would argue that the law of attraction is just another way of saying gravity. And I know it sounds silly, but if you look at what happens to light as it passes near the event horizon of a black hole, it bends that light. So light is affected by the forces of gravity. And we've got all of these neurons firing in our head, and they're affected by gravity, I would assume, if light bends. Literally, like with a telescope, you have to look at the way the light bends. It's very simple. And so I wonder what the gravity of a thought is, for lack of a better word. I think when people talk about the law of attraction, they're referring to that sort of vibe. And so I would say that I had a black hole sized gravitational pull of an idea, which was to be a partner with this company called Advise Media Group. It was an obsession. There was so much energy revolving around that idea in my mind. And what's interesting about the gravitational pull of an idea, and really feeling it and seeing it and imagining going to work and living that experience and just really immersing yourself visually. You can call it meditation. You can call it visualization. I like to refer to it as experiencing a future moment. Just experience it, just completely disembody, get out of your body and experience a moment that has yet to come. And if you're really good, you can experience moments in the past this way too. It's all fluid. So this is kind of the avatar state, you could say. If you're a big fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender, which me and my daughter are huge fans, by the way, great show. You should check it out. So because I had this incredible gravitational pull of this idea, what it did, how it manifested, how the universe made this a thing, was that it actually turned me into an owner. Does that make sense? So the idea was partner, but that partner vibe, that only lasted for like 5 or 6 months. It was a very short-lived thing, and it catapulted me past partner into sole owner. So I think a lot of people say, shoot for the stars, and then if you come up short, then it's fine. Like if you say, I want to be a millionaire, I want to be a multimillionaire, and then you become, and then there's a moment that presents itself where you could be a billionaire. Think about that. So you're kind of in this experiencing mode, and then there's this opportunity, and there's actually one in my realm right now, it's a $1 billion tract. There are certain paths in life that are $1 billion paths. PayPal was one of them. Uber was one of them. I mean, there are $1 billion, ways. In Mandarin, that would be the Dao, right? They're $1 million Dao. And so, to Esther's comment, Esther in the house, obviously, Einstein said, everything is energy. So if you focus yourself on what you want, it has to happen. So there are certain laws as we attempt to better understand our mentality, what a vision is, what an idea is. But I am a believer. It's happened to me many, many times. I envisioned becoming a Spanish teacher. That happened. I've envisioned a lot of things, and they do manifest often. So, and in interesting ways. I feel like sometimes the power of a thought and its slingshot effect into something even bigger needs to be understood. So again, imagine being a partner and then you're the owner. Does this make sense? Imagine making $1 million and then there's an opportunity to make 6 million. So can you embrace that moment? If you had a track to become a billionaire and that was the tract, but you'd only ever really envisioned like, I'm going to be a millionaire. This is what it would look like. This is where I would live. You can literally hear the waves lapping up on the beach. You can see the gorgeous mansion. You can hear the skaters on the boardwalk, strolling by. You can see your family. You can experience that whole thing. And then an opportunity comes in, can you seize it is really the question. And so slingshot. So gravity of the thought gravity. Let's go with that. I like the law of attraction idea. One of the reasons I'm thinking about rebranding the concept is because the law of attraction it's kind of loaded. It's already come with so many people have weighed in on it. And I'm trying to describe something that perhaps is slightly different. So anyway, the gravity of our thoughts. So I was slingshotted just like a rocket ship around the gravitational pull of a black hole into this incredible new space, which was you're a business owner. Let's not forget, by the way, that when we were in school, we saw a model of the universe, a model of the solar system, rather, that has the sun at the center and you got the planets orbiting, and that's fine. But what I never saw or learned was that the sun itself is traveling at over 500,000 miles per hour. So it's not like the sun's sitting there and we're rotating around it. No, like we're cruising. Like the sun is flying. I think the only reason it doesn't leave a trail like a comet is because the vacuum of space has something like, I don't know. I'd have to talk to an astrophysicist as to why a comet leaves a trail. Why does Halley's Comet leave a trail? Yet the sun is moving around the black hole at the center of the Milky Way galaxy, and it doesn't? I don't know. No idea. Probably something to do with the fact that it's a, what is it, fission or fusion? Is it a fission? Nuclear fission? I think it's fission. I think we have fusion and nuclear reactors here. Anyway, so catapulted past that into business ownership and met the challenge. And here were the core principles of what I wanted, given everything that had transpired in the past. Number one, as much autonomy as is humanly possible. You understand me? As a teacher, you better be there at 7:20 when that bell rings, because if you're not there and there's no sub, you are in trouble. And one of the benefits of marketing is that it's more flexible than that. The work has to get done, but it doesn't have to be done at a specific time. There are meetings that you have to be on time for sure. But the entire job is not meeting-based. And it can be done from home. Working from home is one of the greatest gifts I have ever been given. My brother worked from home when I was a teacher, and I was so jealous. I was so jealous. I wanted it so badly because I was suffering so badly, going through so many trials as a young teacher that I just thought, this is it, man. Like, how do I do this? How do I didn't get a degree in anything technological. And so how am I going to get hired from home? Because you have to work on a computer. Maybe I could tutor and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, the whole reason I got into writing, I was trying to find ways to make money at home. And again, not for everybody, it's fine. Some people want the office, you do you. So basically, if you want to work in an office, Send It Rising is not the correct job for you. It's not a match because it ain't gonna never happen. And the other thing is I wanted to be able to hire anyone anywhere. I don't care if you're in Carolina. What do I care? Don't care at all. Florida. Someone in San Francisco has to make San Francisco money. You hire someone who happens to live in Mexico. Cool. There are amazing people all around this planet. Now, I will say that 95% of the people, 98% of the people that happen to be currently working at Send It Rising are Americans who speak English natively, right? Because so much of our company and so much of what we do is based on incredible native language literacy. It's incredibly important. But what would I care if someone who spoke English really well moved to Mexico? It doesn't matter. So why should I limit my talent pool to a 40-mile radius or 20-mile radius of my office when I could enjoy the talent pool of, I don't know, the entire world? You see what I'm saying? It's kind of, it just makes you wonder, like, what? So anyway, we have incredible, talented people in Florida, Carolina, we had California, New York, all over the place. I had people in BNI chapters all over the place. And why not? You know, $50,000 in Carolina is a lot different than $50,000 in San Diego, I'll tell you that much. So you've got a budget and you reach out and you find incredible people and away you go. I have an employee in Cody, Wyoming. I have a letter here from, these are the kind of letters I get now. State of Wyoming Department of Workforce Services. The Unemployment Tax Division. I have employees all over the nation. And that's a good skill to develop. How do you work with the government of the state of Wyoming? Well, there's no way to do it unless you just do it. You have to hire someone first. You can't go to the state of Wyoming and be like, what's it like to have an employee here? You have to hire somebody, which I did. And my employees move because they work from home. Think about that. You give your employees the ability to, I don't know, go anywhere. I have an employee who has to make a lot of trips across the country to do some stuff, personal stuff. Great. Oh, where are you today? I'm in New York. Okay, cool. Love it. All right. Bye. Doesn't matter to me. Does not matter to me. So the pros list in my mind is massive and the cons list is negligible if you hire well. So that was part of the fundamental ethos. Also, you could save someone's life. And this isn't sort of, ha ha ha, that's funny, Kellen. Like, you know, it's true. It's true. People die in car accidents. Talk to a personal injury attorney about how many car accidents happen texting on the roads. It's probably the number one way that people could die today, like on any given day. Well, maybe a heart attack. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is that it's just so dangerous. It's so dangerous. Being on the road is incredibly dangerous. And why? For what? So you can walk into an office and so your boss can look over your shoulder. So the other thing too is that I'm not going to micromanage people. That ain't going to happen. I'm gonna hire adults, and we did. So Send It Rising is built on these core ideas. And then I will not tolerate anyone in the company that doesn't add positivity, hope, work ethic, this stuff. You get it. So anyway, Send It Rising starts with basically one employee. Here you go. Esther Sass writes, a 15-year-old just killed a mom and put her 2 children in critical condition yesterday. It's happening. This mom is in the next experience. And these 2 children are now fighting for their lives. Was she on her way to work? Maybe. You know what I mean? For what? To try to make some money? People are going to look back and they are going to see us as absolutely barbaric. They're going to, we look at the Dark Ages and we look at some of the things that happened, and they're going to look back and go, I cannot believe, Grandpa, that you, or great grandpa, that, Esther writes, he was joyriding. Unbelievable. And then the karmic burden of that kid too. You have to understand that the person who kills someone too, it suffers immensely. Our justice system is absolutely obsessed. It is addicted to revenge. We have a revenge-based justice system. And have we not learned anything about that over time? Revenge tends not to go well. And so that poor kid too, I feel bad for that kid. He's 15. So Esther says, define modernity. What does that mean? I just mean that call it 100 years in the future. People are going to look back and say, you willingly put yourself into a vehicle where you could die to go get a burrito. First of all, why didn't the drone deliver the burrito to your house? You know, why? Like, how did you live before drone delivery? Two, why would anyone take that risk? And it's just surreal. So anyway, we live in this kind of strange dark ages time, technological revolution, computer, etc. Essler writes, we are the only civilized country who still has the death penalty. Yeah, look, I am no expert in criminal justice reform, but I stand by my comment that it's revenge based. It's you did this and you're going to get what's coming to you. And we basically try to create the most hellish experience possible for prisoners. We're trying to develop hell on earth. That's what we're going for. How close to hell on earth can we make it without feeling too guilty? You know, and that's the reality. I think we're going to look at criminal justice in 100 years too and go, oh, wow. Wow, that was bad. Bad. Yeah, you look at the rates of incarceration of black men versus the other races. You look at just the incredible karmic burden that we all bear. The other thing too that we don't think about with criminal justice reform is if you exist at all, you run the risk of going to prison because it exists. You can get framed. Again, for black folks, this is much more of a concern. There are people of all races who end up in jail for crimes they didn't commit. So you literally can be going about your life and end up in prison. You know, an intentional human-created construct that is as close to hell on earth as possible, and not committed the crime. And this happens a lot. Not to mention it's just incredible. It's incredible what we've chosen to do collectively on this one. And it's an extension of just the kind of dark ages mentality that we've kind of brought across. And look, no one wants, unless you're wealthy. Esther says, wow, she makes a good point. So it's almost like, here's an interesting argument. And I promise we're getting it back to entrepreneur fails. We've been going for 20 minutes. This is going to be the never ending entrepreneur fails. Okay, so let's talk about this, unless you're wealthy. Okay. So kings and queens and royalty and nobles 200, 300, 400, 500 years ago did not have the same quality of life that we do. They couldn't drive in a car. They couldn't travel the world. There are a lot of things, the diseases that killed them would not kill us. There are a lot of things that someone making, middle income wages today is so much better than being a king 300 years ago. And so it's almost as if the rich lead the charge in what life can look like, and then it eventually is accessed by the poor. The idea that we don't really have starvation in the United States. There's food insecurity for sure. There's quality of food problems. There are food deserts. We got issues. But if you look at the starvation rate of the United States, it's very rare that someone starves. And that's because we've eventually created a social net that allows for that not to be an issue. In Nigeria, oh no, this is not the case. I was just chatting to someone who owns, it's called Duchess Rideshare, which is competing with Uber and Lyft. And I believe it is going to take over. It is a woman driver, woman only passenger model. The app is available for download right now. And that's what you should do right this very instant, is go to Duchess Rideshare and download it. Lost my train of thought. Esther writes, remember the entitlement defense of the underage drunk driver who drove into that group of people, killing 5. Entitlement defense. I do not remember that. You'll have to let me know what that means. So we have issues, systemic issues societally, and we've covered those. Okay, so back to the ethos. So we're hiring incredible people, and then the years kind of go by, and we double revenue based on those ethics. There you go. And the revenue continues to climb. And, not everyone stays with the company. Folks leave the company, and, we're not the perfect company for everyone. The current employee roster is unbelievable. Unbelievable, the talent we have on the team right now. It is something to be witnessed. I almost wish that we would just record our Zoom calls in the morning. But there's proprietary information. There's stuff they probably shouldn't just be sharing. It would change the tenor of the idea. I just wish I could telepathically communicate to you what's happening in the morning meetings. Oh man, we are acting like a mid-sized company that is currently a small business. We are developing a profoundly organized system of whose role is what, the leads, the entire apparatus of Send It Rising is being manifested in a CRM. And it is, whoa, we are running some ads that are hilarious. We are doing Spanish translation work. We're advertising for Spanish translation work, which is huge. That market is huge. It is something that many ad agencies simply do not do, but we do. And there is a good chance that in 2021, things are going to grow very fast. And we are ready for that because I have hired people around the world. So the real scalable factor when it comes to Send It Rising, which is rising, by the way, is hiring. So as an entrepreneur, you just, there's really only one thing you do. There's one thing you do, if you're really good at it, is you hire right. And then you lead as best as you possibly can. But honestly, you get out of the way. There is something in Chinese philosophy called Wu Wei. I think it's Wu Wei. I'm trying to remember the tones on it. Anyway, Wu Wei describes non-effort, non-doing, and there's 2 different definitions of it. The first would be an emperor. Imagine you're a Chinese emperor or empress, and someone comes into your throne room and they have a problem. We have a grain shortage. We have, there's a threat. Wu Wei basically describes the need for leaders to feel like they have to do something. There's this need to act, to take responsibility, to be the person that solves the problem. And Wu Wei describes the yin of that decision-making process, which is, it is entirely possible that the person is freaking out. It's making it all the way up to you. And sometimes, not always, the absolute best decision you can make is nothing. And by nothing, I mean you've received the information. It has entered into your brain. You are thinking about it. You are going to continue to collect information. You are going, it's, to me, it's if you play chess and there's a great move and you go, oh, I could win her queen. And the hand instantly starts moving. It goes, game over, done deal, awesome. And then you say, wait, do nothing. Look at the board. Okay, I can win the queen. That's true. What else is true? And then you look, and then you see, oh, if I take the queen, I lose. Right? You take the queen, and there's checkmate right there. I lose the game. This is be the worst move ever. It goes from the absolute best move to the worst possible move. And then you go, okay, well, then I won't take the queen, I'll defend. And then you go, no. Then you go, wait. And then you study the board some more, and you go, okay, I have checkmate. It's not right away, but I've got check. The king has to move to that square. There's no option. After that, there's check. There's 2 squares the king can move at that point. This one or that one. Let's look at this one. If they go here, then it's check, check, and mate. If they go here, it's still check, 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 and mate. So of those 3 options, what do you want to do? Take the queen and lose, defend and prolong the game and potentially lose, or do you want to win? And if you look back at the game, and you blundered it, you go, why would I do that? Why would I have done that? And the reason is you didn't woo away. You didn't do nothing. You succumbed to the need to do something. And so it is easy to look at that and go, look at them. They're being so lazy. They're not doing anything. They're just, what are you doing? You're standing on the board, not doing anything. Do something. Doing something is the right choice. Doing something is not always the right choice. It is often the wrong choice. And so this is part of leadership. This is part of leadership. So there has been a decent amount of Wu Wei going on at Sender Rising as well. It's studying the chessboard. And I play a lot of chess. Part of being a strong entrepreneur and leader is maintaining a very positive outlook as a full-time job. You don't think Richard Branson is in a hot air balloon going around the world, because he just wants to, woo, I love hot air balloons? No, he is putting himself in situations where he is remaining enormously positive. Because it is true that his company could fail at any minute. Any one of his ventures could absolutely crash and burn at any moment. And he could liquidate everything and do nothing. He could liquidate everything, sit on the beach and chill. But he doesn't want to do that. He wants to employ people. He wants to lead. And so he's in the crazy car. He's doing the crazy stuff. He's doing philanthropy stuff. He's doing everything he can to keep a hopeful outlook. Well, there's going to be a part 5. This is so thank you for tuning in. In the little screen right there, you can see I wrote, you did it, you made it to the end, you're the best. This is my email. So if you want to personally email me, making it all the way to part 4 is good enough for me. But there's going to be a part 5. This was a good time. Shout outs, of course, to Esther Sass for doing what she does. Part number 5 coming up shortly. Anyway, that is all. Talk to you next time.